And welcome to Commissioner in the Car. Those of you may see that I'm not in the car right now, and that's okay. It's a little cold outside, and I'm actually working from home today. So I've decided to do the Commissioner in the Car from my home office. Um, One of the reasons that I ended up doing it as a series was because the Board of Elections office is traditionally very hard to get a cell service in. And when I first started doing these commissioner in cars, we didn't have the ability to do Facebook Lives at the board. Plus, sometimes these little chats, have a political tinge to it, although that's part of my job. Um, I felt it was better not to do it inside of a county building or in county facilities. So here I am. And I used to do it out in my car because that's where I can get Wi-Fi, um, on my cell phone. But I'm doing it here today in my home office because I wanted to, I wanted to stay warm. That's part of it. We are in Syracuse, New York. But also I wanted to kind of talk about some of the legislative things that are going on, and I can use my home to put some things out in case people need me to or something like that. So if you have a question or anything, please feel free to post this or to put a comment, and hopefully some of you will see it this new way. And I'll probably be doing this for my home office for the next few weeks because at the Board of Elections, we've gone to a policy of 3 days home, 2 days in the office for all of our employees, including the commissioners. And my days in the office are Mondays and Fridays. And then I work from home on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we're doing that to kind of protect our workers from the virus. We plan on probably doing this until the end of March, early April, maybe May, depending on when we have to start bringing our people back in. But we've been very fortunate that we have um, a funding stream that has allowed us to buy laptops for all of our employees, and they have VPNs that are secured, and they can do a lot of our registration work, which is what we're doing at on Bryan County Board of Elections. We're doing that right now. So, if you are tuning in, then that's why I'm here at home. And we're doing all of our registration. We're about 10,000 or so registration forms behind, which is something that's about normal for this time of year, as we just got done with the holidays. People had some time off, but also we couldn't do any registrations while we were finishing the election. And this year, if you remember, right, we didn't finish certifying the election until well, well into mid-December because of the absentee ballots and the COVID outbreak in our office. Um, so that was one of the reasons why we are now doing this. A lot of registration getting it done now. Registration deadline for changing your party is coming up. It's February 14th. I will note that February 14th is a Sunday. So, in the unique law for changing your party registration that was changed last year, where it used to be that you had to, change your party over a year before the general election that you wanted to vote in the primary of. Now it is, February 14th every year. It does say that the party registration form has to be received by the Board of Elections by February 14th. And since it is a Sunday and we are closed on a Sunday, really you should get that done and into our office by February 12th, which is the Friday. You can do it online at MyDMV, but you can't do it on February the 14th because they transmit overnight. So you have to do it on February the 13th. It's confusing. But that is election law, and that is New York State election law. It is not a postmark like it is with registration if for party changes. So if you want to vote in a primary or walk designating petitions, or you know, uh, this year you need to change your party by February 14th. if you want to be able to do that. Um, you can go to onvote.net and it'll walk you through the forms. It has forms on there you can print up and mail in, or you can go to mydmv.com. You have a link right there to do that. Speaking of designated petitions, that's one of the legislative updates that I wanted to talk to you about today. Senator May, our own Senator May, has put in a bill that has just, in the last hour or so, passed the New York State Senate, reducing the number of petitions to 25%. Well, you know what? I'll back up. What are designated petitions? I think a lot of people don't know what they are. This is kind of an inside baseball podcast, and so a lot of people who know elections. But in New York, you have to pass designated petitions to get on the ballot. Every year, between the end of February and the beginning of April, we have to get so many petitions. Usually, it's 5% of the people enrolled in that party in um, the area that the petitions are being walked in. Uh, that's the number of people that you have to get to sign your petition. Usually, you have to get 2 to 3 times that number because you want to make sure that it's people that have signed it are in the party and that you don't have enough people knocked off to drop you off the party. So, or drop you off the petition. So that was scheduled to start on February 23rd, but of course, we're in the middle of this COVID crisis, and that is something that has been concerned for most people here. That what is going to happen with petitioning, and the only bill, the only bill that I heard in the comment that is you're finding it hard to hear me, so I'm going to speak up a little bit. The only bill that is right now being discussed in the legislature is the Senator May's bill that has reduced the number of signatures to 25% of what we normally would have to get, but it also altered the dates for when petitioning will start. Sometime in, I believe it's March 1st is when the petitions will now start, or March 2nd is when the petitioning will now start, and it has to be turned in on March 25th. So it shortened the time period for going out and getting petitions, but it also greatly reduced the number of signatures that you have to get. There has been advocates like myself that have wanted a contactless way of getting on the ballot this year, either by party nominations that can be given direct access or through a filing fee system of some kind. In addition to reducing the number of petitions, it's yet to be determined whether that's going to happen or not. Probably the governor might have some kind of executive order if that does happen, based on what the virus looks like when we start petitioning and what the vaccine delivery looks like when we start petitioning. But we still have not heard any word about anything other than this bill here. It has passed the Senate. There is the same as in the Assembly, and we expect that to pass the Assembly this week. And then if it's signed by the governor, then the new petition dates and the new signature requirements will be publishing here at the Onondaga County Board of Elections. Another thing that we are looking at is that we are looking at what the bills are going to be that have to do with absentee balloting in New York. The biggest bill that has been out there is S1027, that is GNR's bill, that greatly changes when we count absentee ballots here at the boards of elections. Instead of waiting until after Election Day, we would start counting them before Election Day. In his bill, you wouldn't be able to vote on the machine on Election Day unless you turned in your absentee ballot, but you could during early voting, and we wouldn't start opening your absentee ballots until the Sunday before election. This is a bill that has passed the Senate already and is being discussed in the Assembly. I don't believe that this will be the final version of this bill. I believe there's a lot of discussion that is happening with the governor's office, with the senator's office, with the Assembly as well right now about how we can continue to make this bill better for boards of elections. I do think that there will be some change this year to counting absentees before Election Day. The governor released in his budget, he wanted to do it several hours before the end of election day. And that's part of his budget. Also, part of his budget is an expansion of early voting hours, not sites, but early voting hours. Making the weekday hours a little bit longer, but doubling the amount of hours on weekends that early voting runs. Instead of 5, it'll be 10 hours on both weekends. Um, so the governor is having discussions about expanding the rules of early voting in the number of hours at least. It's probably a reaction to the long lines that we saw this last year. And also, I think having longer hours on the weekends makes a little bit more sense since the weekends are when more people want to vote. It makes it harder on boards of elections, though, especially since we do that early voting on that last Sunday. A lot of us have to recalibrate and get ready for Tuesday, and losing a few more hours on Sunday will be putting us in a longer position. Um, that being said, there are some discussions of early voting sites. Senator GNR's has a bill in the Senate. It hasn't been voted on yet. That expands the number of early voting sites. Basically doubles it across the state. That is, has been some discussions about that. If that is something that you're in favor of, you need to contact your senators in New York or in Onondaga County. Our senators are Mannion and May, and your assembly people, Sturpey, Hunter, Magnorelli, and Barkley, if you live in Lysander, and if you're in the southwest portion, Lemontis. These are the people that will be making decisions about the minimum number of sites. Once the minimum number of sites are set, then the Onondaga County Board of Elections in May will make a decision about where those sites are and whether we'll go beyond the minimum. That will be something that you will want to talk to your county legislators about because they have not funded beyond the minimum in the past, nor have given any indication that they would allow their the Republicans in general would not want to go beyond the minimum. So that is something that we'll continue to look at as well. So the changing of when we count absentees, the changing of early voting, that seems to be on the mind of New York State legislators um, as we go forward with the with this um, with this legislative session. Of course, petitioning continues to be part of that discussion, and we'll at least get some answers this week. I'll be testifying this Friday at the yeah, I hear it's very hard to hear. I'm sorry. Doesn't seem to be anything I can do about it. I'm going to try to. I may have to re-record this at another time. This may not work. I don't know why it's not working. The microphone doesn't seem to be working as well as I would like. Try to turn your volumes up for now. But the legislature also seems to be working on we're having a hearing on Friday. Senator Myrie is having a hearing for the New York State uh, Senate on what went wrong in the 2020 elections and what went right. And I'll be part of that. I've been asked to be a part of that legislation, or that hearing. So uh, keep that in mind, and I hope to have you have a video of that posted sometime this weekend. And it does look like this experiment of doing this at home in my office isn't really working out. So next week I'll be back in the car. So, but for now, that's the legislative update. On Thursday, I'll be talking to John Moss, who's the Central New York representative for Attorney General Trish James, and we'll be talking about the stuff that's going on in their office, what they're doing on voting rights and protecting voting rights in New York State, as well as some of the other things that that office does. We'll be talking on Thursday, And then on Sunday, I hope to have my video of my testimony from Friday as my Jim Woods Army contribution. Tomorrow I'll be doing a Wonky Wednesday with the Camillus Town, and yeah, that'll be up tomorrow. So I hope that you will take take that into account and see those things. And I'm sorry about the audio on this. I'm gonna have to make some changes. So thank you very much and enjoy your day. And I hope to see you around on the web. Bye bye.